yourselves for an evening filled with paranormal, special guests, interviews, haunting stories, creatures of the unknown, and tales that will chill you to the bone. Brought to you by the UPRN Network and Pittsburgh Paranormal Society. Take a walk into the night with Shawn Kelly.
Hey, good evening, everybody. How is everybody doing this fine Tuesday night? My name is Shawn Kelly, and I am the host of Into the Night on the UPRN Radio 105.3 out of New Orleans. And tonight's going to be a pretty cool night. I'm just going to go around the board. You know, whatever comes out is going to come out. And but you know what? I had a bad week. I really did. I had a bad week. Things just didn't go right for me. Like in December, you know, being a meat cutter, it was like one of the most busiest days of my life, busiest months in the supermarket business. And I was tired. I was really tired, and I got tired of cutting pork. And it took me a long time to like recuperate, yeah, because I'm halfway there. Because after the holiday seasons, it takes me about a month to get back to being normal again. And so that with me, my emotions weren't right. Okay, I was still taking my medicine, and my depression really kicked in, and it wasn't nice. But what kept me going, and believe it or not, what kept me going too, was knowing that I was going to be here on Tuesday night, and I was going to tell you about it. And again, I want to tell you that I do think of you, people who are experiencing anxiety, depression, and stuff like that. I really, think about you. I also pray for you too. We're all in this together. Okay, it's not, one person doing this, one person doing that, and you think you're alone on this island of misery, anxiety, but you're not. Okay, there are a lot of people around you that are going through basically the same things that you're going through. So you have to go out and reach out and start talking to people. Now, being me, who I am, I'm real like an introvert because I really don't like to tell people what's going on with me. That's who I am. I've been like that all my life, and so I'm expressing myself a lot better, but not to where I want to be. So hopefully, one day at a time, I'll be thinking of you and praying for you. And in the meantime, I hope you're praying for me and thinking of me too. So on that number, I want to talk about angels tonight. It seems like I need my angels. Hey, Liz, how are you? Welcome. Hey, oh, by the way, before you get in the angels, Liz, I was stationed over in Holy Loch, Scotland in Dunoon back in 1981. I love Scotland. The fish and chips, only way to go. But the angels I want to talk about, they mean a lot to me, okay? I'm not so on, like, there's like 7 different levels of angels, and you know what? That's okay. I know the angels that work for me. And there's a lot of angels out there that are human beings too. And I'd like to share this story. I might have repeated it before, but you know what? I'm going to repeat it again because it really meant a lot for me. One night I was at a restaurant, and I was having coffee and, of course, apple pie. I like apple pie. And what happened was I went out and have a cigarette because here in Pittsburgh you can't smoke in the restrooms. So what happened was I went out and I was having a cigarette, and I saw this really, really old guy. I'd never seen him before, never. And he came out and he bummed a cigarette off of me, and I gave him one. And then he turned to me and he said, um, "Do you have $5 so I can go get something to eat and a cup of coffee?" And without hesitation, I gave it to him, and I went back in and I looked and he wasn't there. I'm thinking, hmm, did he just take $5 off of me? But I wasn't mad. For some reason, it felt good giving him the $5 in order to get something to eat. Maybe he went somewhere else. But all I know was that ever since that situation, I had the best luck in the world. Everything I touched turned into gold. Not real gold, I'm just saying. And I really believe, truly believe that I was touched by an angel. I really do believe that. And to this day, I'll probably never meet him again. Okay. And so it's like, it just brings up a really warm feeling in my heart. You know, now I have a big heart, I have a huge heart. But you know what? I'm not the type of person to ask for help. I'm not. I'm the type of person that likes to give and to help other people. It's real hard for me to ask for help. And when I gave that guy that $5, I'm thinking, okay, I did my good deed for today. But you know what? Oh, he gave me a lot of happiness. He gave me a lot of joy. At the time, I was divorced from my wife, and I wasn't really having a decent relationship with my son. Okay, and all of a sudden, the next day, we, me and my son, we started talking, and this was like when he was in high school, and we had a nice relationship going. And I have no doubt in my mind it was from that God that I gave the $5, the angel. Okay. Now, to me, that was one experience that I experienced with a real live angel. I do believe it was. But there were other situations that I was where I met somebody that I didn't know that made my day, my year, whatever, it made it great. So we don't talk about angels that much. We really don't. I don't hear it. No. You got some people who, the angel ladies here in Pittsburgh, and you got women or guys who read from the angel cards. But you know what? To have a certain relationship with an angel, and with me, I use my archangel. And the archangel that I work with, it's Uriel. He is Uriel. It's pronounced Ariel, but it's actually Uriel. And I've been working with Uriel since I started paranormal investigating. And he's been with me all the time. And I thought maybe, he'd just come on the investigations, for a little extra protection for me. But you know what? He's with me all the time. And a lot of people out there are thinking, nah, what is an angel? Nah, I don't believe that. It's all in your subconscious mind. But you know what? They're not experiencing it like I experience it. And there are many investigations where I needed to have Uriel come along with me to help me and to protect me from, the real nasty spirits that were actually in there. And also, whenever there were demons that I experienced during my paranormal investigations, and these big, He's really big and he's strong and he's hardcore. Trust me, everyone gets this picture of angelic people, all nice and sweet and smiling with white and all that stuff. It don't work that way, guys. All right, they're hardcore. And what's crazy about Uriel is whenever I get off the beaten path, okay, whenever my path, I decided to go and do something else, like have a normal life. I do not have a normal life at all. And that's for another show. Um, yeah, I'm glad you do, Liz. Angels are the best. I love them, angels. And so whenever I'm investigating, and you know, I get lonely sometimes. All right. No, I'm not advertising because I'm saying, well, I'm not. Okay. But I'm just sharing with you my experiences. And so whenever I decide to go and try to be a normal person, Uriel pulls me back on track again. Because I figured it out, and it took me a long time to realize that if I fall off my path, I won't be on the path, which was, I don't think I chose it, but I think I was put on it. And that's for another show. Maybe I might get into it a little bit longer later on in the show tonight, but I don't know. I and whenever I get off the beaten path, he really, really shows his presence. And, I know when he's mad at me, but then again, I do know when I screw up, then I deserve to get not beaten up, but he shows his presence. So, like, and to me, even though he's big and he's bad, he's hardcore, he has so much love, and he has a lot of love for me, and he protects me and he takes care of me, and for that I'm very, very grateful. And now you have Archangel Michael, the one that goes down and fights Satan and or the devil or whatever you want to call him. Okay, Lucifer. Now, my theory about that, and I'm going to share it tonight. I might get some people mad or not, but I really, really believe, and I saw this on TV with on the History Channel with theologians and stuff, and other shows like that, and I believe that Lucifer was actually sent and cast into hell in order to keep an eye on Satan, who was already in hell. Okay. And the more I think about it, because you got Satan and you got Lucifer. Okay, to me they're two different entities. All right, and so with Lucifer coming down, keeping an eye on Satan to make sure he doesn't do really, really anything harm. But the way the world's going now, who knows what's going on down there between them two. But they say that whenever the end of the world comes, that Lucifer will actually go back and sit on the right hand side of God. And I believe that. Okay. Now, I'm not a devil worshiper. Okay. I don't, there's people out there that believe in Satan. Red fairies. That's cool. We'll talk about that soon. And what happened was that he's going, there's people out there that, not worship, but that's their religion, Satanism. And that's okay. If it makes them okay, then fine. That's cool. Then you got your Buddhists and you got your Catholics and you got your Lutherans and all kinds of other ones. But I don't judge. I do not judge at all. But I believe that it's going to happen. And so I just really, really like angels. So is Michael going to go down and slay Satan? Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? But that was taught to us. And so there are so many archangels out there, and there's certain types of things that you can do if you want to know if you're an angel, who your angel is, by meditating, And so whenever you meditate, oh, what do you got there? Oh, thank you, Liz, for sharing it. I appreciate it. Liz here said, I saw real fairies too when I was 6 years old for a week. They came to my room and they are so tiny and it was all different colors and so bright too. It was amazing. I'm glad that you believe in fairies because you know what? I do too. Okay, they do exist. All right. A long time ago when I was divorced from my wife, I was sitting out. I had my son over and he was 6 years old. And this was in April. And this apartment complex, they built pretty big, flower gardens and other types of gardens, planting some zucchinis or whatever it was flowers. So one night, me and my boy, we sat on the bench inside, it was a real huge garden. They had a bench there. And all of a sudden, I saw all these little lights, little tiny dot lights, like they look like lightning bugs. And that's what we call them in Pittsburgh, lightning bugs. I don't know what you call them wherever you live, fireflies, whatever. I don't know. So they were like these little white lights were like dancing all around the garden. I'm thinking, that's strange. And I didn't think much of it. So the next morning, I go out and sit in that garden on the bench, and holy crap, there was a fairy ring, perfect circle ring of mushrooms. And I was like, whoa. And right now, I just got chills. And from that time on, I started, realizing that, fairies do exist. So Liz, that's my story about my fairies. Um, but back to meditations. We'll go meditation now. So during my path, when I first started working into the spiritual, hi Alicia, how are you? Welcome to the show. Um, it's nice to see a new person come in. If you have any questions out there, Liz, Alicia, or anybody else, please ask them. I'll be more than happy to answer them for you. But back when I was on working with learning how to deal with spirit guides, and I was learning how to do some meditations and stuff like that. I had a meditation one night, and I'm going to share this with you. I don't share this with anybody, but this is who I am. This is where it got me to where I'm at today. And what happened was I went into a meditation, and two angels came down, okay, and they took me, my spirit, up to heaven. So I'm like freaking out because I'm thinking I'm dead, because we got these angels picking me up, going up. But what was crazy was they were smiling, but they were, you know, um, smiling and taking me up there. So when I get up there, there's like hundreds and thousands of angels, and they're all smiling at me, and I'm thinking, whoa, this is insane. And so they all separated, and there was a um, white carpet outlined in gold, and I started walking it, the line, the the rug, and I came up to a man sitting in a white chair, looking out the other way, and he had a short white hair like mine. Okay, his hair was short, and he turned around and he looked at me and he said, "Come here." And so right now I'm like really scared because I just started meditating. So I was kind of like nervous about the situation. And I walked up and he turned and he smiled at me and he put his hand on my head. And I fainted. I mean, I passed out. And when I awoke, I felt two angel wings on my back. Okay. And I turned around and I looked at him and I said, "Well, what's my purpose?" And he said, "To help people to survive, to help people to make them happy again." And then I woke up. Now, that is a true, 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 true meditation. Am I an angel? Hell no. I'm no angel. But ever since that day, it seems like that I put more effort into helping people, whatever it may be, whatever it may be. And I just I changed a lot of lives. And how I did that was by just saying something, not going out and healing them or whatever you want to call it, by just talking to them or, helping them out with a ghost problem, something like that. That was crazy. And I had some really, really, really crazy meditations. I really did. That was one of them. The um, second one I had, I was my spirit guide. His name was Black Elk, and he was a Lakota shaman for Lakota Sioux. And he was my spirit guide at the time. We would always go down to this lake, and it was a beautiful lake, and we always went down at night. Um, so one night we went down there. The lake was calm, clear, and mountains all around this lake. I mean, a lot of stars up in the sky. It was really, really relaxing, and I just saw a ghost walk by me. This is crazy, but that's okay. It's my job. So we're sitting there, and two dolphins come out of the water, out of this lake. And he made me walk out a little bit. And as I walked out into the water, the dolphins came underneath my arms and they took me down to the middle of this lake. Now, what was crazy about this lake was it looked like an ocean because there was a lot of sharks there. There was a couple of great whites, dolphins, everything, all kinds of fish. And I'm like getting scared because I'm underwater enjoying my meditation. Hi, Elise. I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. How about you? Um, so I'm going down, and then I come to the core of the earth, I guess you want to say it, and that's where the dolphins dropped me off. And so as I'm walking, I went through Illinois. I was out in Great Lakes, Illinois, when I went to boot camp. But I went through, and as I'm walking around, it's orange, and all of a sudden this little pup came up, a little puppy, and it was a wolf pup. And so wherever I went, that little wolf pup, he followed me, and so we're walking, and as I continued walking into the core, I'm a little nervous because I didn't know where the hell I was, and then I did. I saw her. I saw Mother Earth, and she was standing there. We didn't talk, but she was there. Now this is all in meditations, okay? And so it seemed like I was there for hours, just looking at her, never talked. And then she smiled at me, and she said, she didn't say, but she pointed to the little pup. And I kind of knew that pup was coming with me. Okay. And that pup is my animal guide. He is my animal. He protects me. And I named him Lakota. And from a little pup until now, he's big, he's bad, and he kicks butt. And so when I go on investigations, Lakota's always around with me, protecting me, you know. Now, these are my meditations, okay? You know, people out there who don't understand meditations or don't realize what's happening, okay, that's cool. I understand. But I'm just sharing with you what I experienced. And so after those two major meditations that I went through, okay, that's when the ghost hunting came. That's when it really, really began after that. I did not know that all the stuff that I was going through, you know, the meditations and stuff was going to get me to where I am right now. But what's really crazy how spirit worked for me, it just seems like every year he would put somebody into my life and they were supposed to teach me stuff. So after those two meditations, the spirit put a woman in my life, Penny, and she taught me all about um, goddesses. She taught me about paganism, you know, and all kinds of other stuff. She taught me this. And after a while, you know, we're friends. We're very good friends now. Um, but I learned that thing from her. Then the following year, you know, I was introduced to a witch friend of mine. And she taught me everything about, you know, witches or, you know, stuff like that. And it was a lesson for a whole year. And again, that witch friend, Kimmy, she's still my friend, right? But not as much as it, you know, I don't see her as much as I, you know, want to be. And then I had Moonraven. She helped me out a lot too. And learning about the different types of gems, you know, quartz crystals, different protection methods. And then the next year, I was introduced to a woman who taught me all about angels and demons. So, and it was really weird because I really wasn't putting things two and two together. I didn't understand what was going on until I realized when I started my investigations, my first one, my first private resident was October of 2006. And we did a client's house. And all of a sudden, I walk in there into the house and I'm thinking, okay, we got our cameras going, we got our EVPs going, we got, you know, all the equipment, you know, for ghost hunting. But there was something different about that night. Okay. I actually started to feel spirit there. I actually saw the spirit that was in there. It was three women, and he was a riverboat captain because the house was on the Mon River. And so that's where it started. It was really, really creepy. I'll be honest with you, it was creepy because I knew more when I walked into the house and not realizing that all those years that people were put in my life teaching me about different religions and stuff like that, it got me to where I am when I first did my first investigation. And what was really crazy about it was that this is 2021 and I'm still doing investigations. But I have had clients that were from different ethnic groups, different religions, different thing, you know, different beliefs and what. And by the knowledge that I learned from these people that were put into my life, it made life a lot easier for me to help people with their, you know, what's going on in their house. So that was a big deal. I mean, it just like finally dawned on me, like, wow, so that's what's going on. What's going on? And it's okay. And I've learned so much being in the paranormal field into the spiritual realm world. I've learned a lot. And what it did was that it showed me a whole new outlook in life. It showed me a different type of life, a different type of scenario. You know how we're here on Earth, okay? And, we're so used to being on Earth. And I never understood what was out there. I'm just getting so many chills up and down my back. I think Uriel's here, kind of like, watching me what I'm saying. But it was really different. It was a whole new world. And so I look at it and I'm thinking, you know what? I'm going to be okay with this. I'm going to be okay. And so I jumped in on it. I jumped in on it with my 2 feet, and I started, and I never looked back. But what was really, really cool is that on my journey that I am on right now, I have met a lot of beautiful people. Liz, I don't even know who you are. Alicia, I never met you. I never met you, Liz. But I tell you what, by just looking at your names, my God, you have beautiful energy inside your heart. And that's cool. A lot of people should have that. I met tons of people, been to many places. At first I had the ego. Said, yeah, look at me, Shawn Kelly, founder of the Pittsburgh Paranormal Society. And I had an ego. And I come to find out that having an ego is nothing. It's not worth it. Because the more you have that ego, the more you're not looking at the true situation that you were brought into doing. And so as I started to realize that nothing was, thank you, Alicia, I appreciate that. And as I was going through and realizing I'm not really doing what I'm supposed to do, it was all about me. It was all about me. Going on TV, getting in the newspapers, being on a morning show. I'm walking around with my head up in the air and like, like I'm the shit. And then I found out one thing happened. I'm not going to get into it because it's really irrelevant. And we have somebody from Yugoslavia, maybe, that is a bot that's on my show, but whatever, bot, welcome. But as I was, no, there's another one. So, oh boy, see what they did? They made me screw up. So as time went on, right, I had to learn that I had to be humble. Okay, I had to be totally humble when I did the paranormal work, when I did the spiritual work. Okay, because you have to experience humility. There's no such thing as egos in my life now. Um, everything I do is humility, humbleness. And you know what? I'm okay with it. And you know what's really crazy about that whole thing is that, when you're humble with people and you're humble with yourself, you get a lot more good rewards. And I'm not talking money. I'm not hitting the lottery or nothing like that. I'm talking about, you know, gifts of people smiling at you or shaking your head or shaking your hand. I'm sorry. And those are the rewards I'm talking about. And when I go into a house to investigate with my group, just seeing the faces on my clients, knowing that the spirit is gone, or they understand why this ghosts are there. Okay. And it just makes me feel good inside. It makes me feel really, really good inside, knowing that I've helped this person. And not just me, my team. My team helped this person because my team I have right now, they're the best. You know, I can put them up against anybody and we can go for it. Now, that might sound a little egotistical right there, but I have a very good group. Very good group. And there's a ton of other good groups out there. In fact, on the last show on Chasing Prophecy, our guest was Apex, APEX Paranormal, and they're out of Kansas City. And I think was Elijah, and I forget who the lady's name was. Excuse me if you're listening, but they had a lot of good evidence. They're going to be starting little shows on Amazon coming up in a couple weeks. Which I'm excited. Um, and all kinds. Let me see what Liz had to say there. This is a great show. This is a great show. And I like the paranormal, and I've saw spirits and shadows in person, but it's a spirit. I think sometimes they just want someone to talk to them, Shawn. Liz, that is the truth. That is the truth. And I always come up with this explanation to people. Of course, they want to be heard. Now, think about it, Liz, right? Think about this. Okay, so you're dead and you're in a cemetery and you've been there for 100 years. Okay, your body's been there for a long time. And no one comes and pays you a visit. Okay, no one wants to pay you a visit. And so you're standing next to your headstone, and all of a sudden you see a bunch of people come into the cemetery with flashlights and cameras and and you're thinking, holy crap, there's people here. What if I not go out and say hello and introduce myself? And I have met a lot of spirits like that. They thinking, okay, Liz knows that Shawn can, talk to spirits or hear them. And so, yes, have conversations. And I've done, and what I like to use is the K2 meter. Okay. The K2 meter is great. It picks up electromagnetic fields and basically spirits pure energy. Oh, don't even think that. I know. You know what, Liz? They're crazy people. I mean, Liz is saying I used to talk to the spirits and people thought I was stupid. Some people doesn't understand that I can see things. And you know what, Liz, to be honest with you, even to this day, um, they look at me like I'm weird too. But you know what? That's okay. You know? And if you look at it, Liz, okay, the gift that you had, hey, Doreen, how you doing? Doreen was in my group. Uh, Doreen's a good investigator. What's the name of your group, Doreen? I forget. Pennsylvania Spirit something? Yeah, Doreen was in my group. And Alicia, people are afraid of what they don't understand. You're not crazy. And that is so true, Alicia. That is so true because you're not crazy, Liz, not at all. Okay. And it's hard for people to comprehend that. And the reason why, there it is, PA Spirit Seekers. That's right. Okay. That's one bag check mark in my column for that one. But Liz, no, you're not crazy at all. Okay. You have a gift. You have the gift to help and talk to spirits. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And, and accept it. To hell with what other people think. You know, what I suggest is that if you can, if there's anybody that can help you improve on your gifts with the spirits and stuff like, please do it, man. But I also suggest that you don't go around and tell people this too, and because you're going to get ridiculed a lot. Hey, trust me, I got ridiculed when I first started. I got ridiculed, but no more. Because I stand firm on what I believe in, and a lot of people know me now, so they kind of respect on what I do. And it's not so much the respect, it feels good to be respected for being in this field. But you know what? If you can, it's just, it's a good feeling to have inside that you can help and work with people. And you know what, Liz? I'm telling you, there's going to be a lot more ghosts and spirits, and people are going to ask you questions. So don't push it. Just go baby steps. And I can guarantee it, You're going to be surprised. Doreen can tell you, you know, she started off and she learned to be patient, and now she sees ghosts all the time. She knows when a spirit is around. Okay, so anybody can do it. It's just that you just don't want to broadcast it. Okay, a lot of people were, they wanted the fame, they wanted to be on TV, they wanted to, have the best picture. Uh, Listen, there you go. I love it. Great, Lori. Um, and it's not all about that. It really isn't. It's not about having the best picture or the best video or the best EVP. You know, it isn't. What it's all about is helping others understand that the spirits do exist. I remember, Jordan, you remember that one investigation that we did out there in Monroeville about, the nurse? That was a crazy one. That's going to be for another story, for another show that I'm going to bring up. Um, but Liz, you're going to be fine. And welcome to my world. And it's okay. Alicia, welcome to my world too. So, I got about 9 minutes left coming up. So I just, yeah, it was wild. Well, I might as well bring it up right now. So here's what happened. This was crazy. So we got a phone call. Well, Dorian did, um, from a lady from her boss. It was crazy. And the boss explained was that he was married to his wife. He was married, and his wife was a nurse. Okay. And so she was already at work, and nobody was in the house. And as he left the door, and he drove out and up to the street, he got a phone call on his cell phone, and it came from the house that he lived in. Okay. Now, that was blown because nobody was in the house, and he got a phone call from him. And so when he goes into work, he played back the message, and all he heard was kill the nurse. And that's what the message was, kill the nurse. And that freaked him out really, really bad. So that's how they got in contact with us. So me and Doreen, we went out and we actually did a walkthrough. What I mean by a walkthrough um, is that we go out to the client's house, say like on a Tuesday or Wednesday, and we interviewed them. Then we do our own little mini investigation to see if it's legit enough to come out. But the guy actually played us the message, and it like blew me away. It really blew me away. And so, as we were doing our walkthrough, and I was talking to him, we were leaving. Doreen's in the car, and I'm talking, setting up a date and a time for us to come out there. She comes out of the car, Shawn, you got to hear this. And so she plays the EVP that she caught. And Doreen asked the question, how old are you? And you perfectly heard 93. And we played it for our client, okay? And it freaked him out because what happened was he heard his father's voice who passed away, okay? And it was like, oh my God, that's my dad. And then we compared, like, from the message to that he got to her EVP, and it was almost the same. It was almost identical. And here, his father did not like his wife, and that's why he heard "kill the nurse." It was Honduran. It was crazy. It was so crazy. and that we were there standing, and the wife was holding a glass of wine, I think it was, and honest to God, it just smacked right out of her hand. We just saw smack right out of her hand. I don't know too much about the dog, uh, but it was it was one of the craziest investigations gone. So real quick, um, so we went there and we investigated it. And on their second floor, as you go up the steps, there's a cross that hangs on the wall, right? And as we're walking up the steps, the cross comes off the wall and lands on the ground. No one touched it. And I'm like, whoa, because that really freaked me out. That freaked me out. And so I picked up the cross and I looked. It was in there by a nail. But what was crazy, the nail was in this way. All right. So for that cross to come off that wall like that, someone had to lift the cross off and put it down on the ground or throw it on the ground. That was crazy. That was one of the craziest investigations that I experienced with it. We had some good ones, and that one time we were going down Blue Mist Road. It was like in the summertime or something like that. And what was really really crazy, because around Blue Mist Road we have a lot of coyotes, and so as we're walking down, the sun goes down and the moon just comes up. All of a sudden, you hear all these coyotes howling in the distance. So it was like really, really cold. So we had a lot of good stuff. Um, Liz wrote something. I only had a camcorder and a camera, not anything like the equipment that is out today. I caught a lot, and they were in my old house. It was haunted. They didn't do me any harm, which was great, Liz, which was cool, you know. See, to me, you really don't need the equipment, you know. It's nice to have it, but for me, equipment is just equipment. Now, don't tell my techie guy that. He's like, yeah, big old boy. But you know what? To me, just a simple K2 meter and an EVP. That's all I need, you know? Because you know, Liz, that since you communicate with the spirits, that you don't need that stuff because you know they're talking to you, which is cool. You know what I mean? Which is really, really cool. Right, Dorian, the equipment confirms to others. But then again, that is true, Dorian, but you have to remember too, you can have the perfect apparition picture. You perfect. And you show it to people and they'll say that's not a ghost. Or that's somebody else's voice on the EVP. Yeah. And it's like, why even post a picture? Why even show people pictures knowing that you're going to get ridiculed? Ah, you know, you're just going to get ridiculed. And who wants to go around being ridiculed? Because, I mean, you're so pumped up. You want to tell people you're ghost hunting. You think it's the coolest thing in the world, but other people don't give a damn. And they don't care if you caught a ghost or not a ghost. You know, another big thing at the time were orbs. Okay. Orbs were a really big thing going on. And at the beginning, when I started in 2006, you know, all orbs out there were dust. And there were dew on the trees and, you know, on the grass. And it was dust flying in the rooms, you know. And I understood that there was dust, and I know there was, you know, stuff like that. But you know what? There were some orbs out there that were brighter than the moon. I mean, totally circular with pure white. And it was so pure white that it was definitely, you have bugs nest, true, but it was so white and was so round. Okay. And to me, I have no doubt in my mind that was a spirit, but in an word form, you know. And I mean, I tried to explain it to everybody, trying to make it, but they didn't want to hear it because at the TV show at the time, Taps or Ghost Hunters, whatever you want to call them, they never believed in words. They don't believe in words. And I'm thinking, no, words exist. So I was the black sheep of the paranormal group, you know, because I didn't believe in orbs. So you know what? The hell with people, what they think. Um, it's pretty coming up on the wits and hour. But I got a couple more minutes. I want to thank Doreen for helping me out tonight. Liz, God bless you. Continue. Um, I forget. You too, Doreen. Um, and Alicia, thank you for participating in and asking questions. I appreciate that. Next week's show, I'm going to try to get a guest on. I don't know. We'll see what happens, you know, because, you know, I might not even be here, you know, tomorrow morning. Who knows? Only God knows. But I do want to say to you, everybody, that I, like I said in the beginning of the show, I do think about you. I do care about you. I may never see you, and I will probably never ever meet you. But you know what? Just remember one thing, okay? I do care for you. And with that, Gracie, have a nice night. Happy hunting.